Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Anchor Media. We are your hosts. My name is Ocean Subiano.
I'm Taylor Vieira.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring to you guys our take on the newly released film, Pray for the Devil. This movie came out on October 28th, and, you know, it's Halloween time, so all these spooky movies coming out. And for you guys that are, you know, avid followers of the channel, you guys know that I don't like scary movies, right? Like, I don't like them. And there's been a few that we've watched for the channel, but this is actually a movie that I kind of wanted to watch. Like, this is one that I told Taylor, I was like, hey, this movie kind of looks interesting to me, so let's watch it. And Taylor's like, oh my God, you're going to watch a scary movie? But, so we ended up watching it, and to be honest, the reason why it's coming to you guys so far after the release date is just because the quality of the movie, I think.
Well, I mean, it came out, and I wasn't really in a rush to see it compared to a lot of things.
Based off of the reviews and stuff we got from other people, it kind of fell down our priority list for other things. So, but we are going to, because I told you guys when we did the trailer reaction that I'm going to watch this movie, we figured we'd do an episode on it. I will say for everybody watching that there are going to be some images on the screen that are some people would find disturbing and whatnot. So, you know, viewer discretion is advised. It's a weird thing to say, but yeah, just be aware that that's going to happen. So we'll do this in traditional fashion. We'll start off with spoiler free, give it a score, and then we'll dive into some spoilers. And ladies and gentlemen, stick with us because this episode is a special one. For the first time on Any Kind Media, on our take, we're going to have 2 live guests, and they're going to replace us when we get to the spoiler-free section, and they're going to share their thoughts as well. And I'll introduce them when we get to that point, but stick with us because it's going to be a good time. And you know, I can already foresee the conversation that they're going to have. It's going to be great. So stick with us.
It'd be nice to have more opinions.
Yeah, stick with us. So spoiler-free section. Like I said, I'm not a scary movie person, so I don't pretend to know what makes a good scary movie and what doesn't. But I feel like this movie was so bad that I could tell that it was bad. And I'll be honest, I got scared because I'm, you know, a wuss when it comes to this stuff. So like I'll admit that I got scared quite a bit. But the story, the way things were written, and the execution, it was kind of, it got comical for a while, and I was just like, all right, whatever. And this is not what I was hoping it to be. So.
Yeah, this movie, it's really bad. I don't know.
Should be straight up honest.
There's not much to say. It's not good. There's some things they have in it that could be good, I guess.
Yeah, there's some themes and some ideas that they have
material, whatever, but
that could be that if they did it differently, it could have been cool. Or if maybe somebody else wants to take it and make a different movie about something like that, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
but
not a fan of most of the people that were acting in this movie either.
Yeah,
it looked okay, like visually.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It's got a ton of jump scares.
Yeah,
which you know is bad. And that's when they like
when
rely
they
on it.
Rely on the jump scares, for sure. And you can tell, like even for me, as somebody that doesn't watch.
I feel like in general the source material that this is like just religion and exorcism and things like that, it's kind of barely used in this movie.
Yeah, that was one thing that I'm going to talk about in the spoiler session because like I have a little bit of knowledge on that stuff, and I was confused about some of the processes and things that they were doing and it just doesn't make sense to me. So
there's some new things that they have in this which I liked, but because they ignore
very major things,
you know, traditional things, it's kind of, and I'm not religious,
right?
But I felt
movies.
Insulted from this movie for religious
people. All right, we'll give scores here real fast. I'm sitting at like a 3, because I'll give it the fact that it scared me personally, but outside of that, there's not really much else going on here.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 2.
Yeah. So 3 for me, 2 for Taylor. If you guys haven't seen this movie yet, I don't necessarily recommend it. It's kind of a waste of time. if you go to it in the theaters. This is definitely one you could wait to come to like Netflix or.
Nope, don't even wait for that. Just don't watch it.
I mean, yeah, there's better ones out there for sure. There's definitely better ones out there. So, and I'm sure there are definitely better Halloween movies that came out this Halloween season as well. Like I don't know how well Halloween did, the final chapter or whatever.
I don't know what it was rated, but I would definitely recommend that over this.
Yeah. So there are better options out there, ladies and gentlemen. And if you stick with us here through this spoiler section, we'll kind of explain a little bit more as to why. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is your official
spoiler alert. Okay.
So I don't really know what makes a good scary movie. I had this conversation.
Well, sure you do. It's just a good story.
Well, so I had this conversation with our two guests yesterday about what makes a good scary movie, and one of them was talking about like what is it that scares you personally? Because everybody gets scared by different things, right? And I personally don't like dolls or like supernatural stuff. So this stuff scares me because of the whole supernatural aspect and demons and whatnot. So like it scares me, but when a movie is written the way it's written, where like this movie it threw you into it right off the bat without like a whole lot of depth, and it was just trying to scare the shit out of you to get you to like be invested in the story for some reason.
Yeah.
Like it was using jump scares to get you invested in the story. And like for me it's the exact opposite. Like you're not going to get me invested in the story if you just start fucking throwing jump scares at me right off the bat. So right from the beginning, I mean the opening scene with the mother and her banging her head on the wall like that was creepy, but then it transitions to her in the present day, and there's that window scene where you see the kid in the window, right? And like that's the quintessential like cliche freaking scary thing when you close a window or you close a mirror. Oh, they're there all of a sudden. And I knew it was coming, and it still got me, but I was just like, come on, like already? Like we're doing that? Like, you couldn't wait a little bit, maybe develop the story a little bit more. So I don't know. It turned me off from there, and then the rest of the movie was just me like trying to like predict when the jump scares are happening so I don't freak out, and then that was it because I didn't really care about the story.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about the twist, right? We'll say, of the fact that our main character, we'll just go with this picture. Our main character Anne is a sister, and she has this connection to the devil essentially. And her mom was possessed, and she just feels drawn to people that are possessed. So she works in this hospital. I think it's in New York, right? This takes place in New York.
This new facility?
Yeah, this facility that they're at.
I think so.
I think it's in New York. But she has this connection, so she's working there, and then she tries to get into like the male only. What you see in the trailer, right? They want to teach her how to become an exorcist and be the first female, whatever. But there's this twist that this little girl that is at the core of the movie ends up being her long lost daughter that she gave up for adoption when she was 15.
So through the movie, they make it seem like that, but later on they actually don't acknowledge that ever again. So I can't actually say if that was.
Well, she said that she's my daughter.
She said that, but I don't know if she meant that literally or just figuratively.
Or she's a representation of her daughter, or the demon that's inside her is.
Right.
I think
because she had another mother.
Right, but I mean, I think it was her it could have been her adoptive parents.
Well, she looked nothing like her.
Yeah, well, yeah. So no, I get what you're saying. But I think she is. Like I don't think that the movie, I don't think the writers were deep enough to have done that, of like make it a representation of her daughter instead of actually her daughter.
That to me that actually would be worse because that means they didn't even think about actually flushing the idea out, and it just kind of
like it could
was there.
It was just
for it to be the daughter. is even worse because that makes no sense. Why, of all these people, you just happen to stumble across your daughter?
I think it's stupid, and then not only is the idea dumb and very like cliche, but the execution of it was terrible too. Like she was supposed to be 15. She looked no different than she did.
The age,
like there was no de-aging at all. She was just the same person when she was 15, and now she had to be mid-20s, I'm guessing, because the kid was like 10 or 11. So it was just, I was just like, what? Like, I mean, we even talked about it at the end of the movie. We're like, she looked no different when she was 15 and she gave birth. Right. So, like, if you're gonna do something like that, do it right. You know, de-age the character or get a different actress or something. You know, make it more believable that she had, you know, actually. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're just expecting too much from.
Yeah, I think I think
care.
You're right, and it comes from like I've seen some other exorcism type movies. I mean, everybody's seen Exorcism of Emily Rose, but there's some other ones like The Devil Inside of Me or some other movies that I've seen that do the whole demon possession a lot better, and I guess I was just expecting more from this. And it intrigued me because it was supposed to be a story about the first female exorcist. But the thing that made me upset about it is, sure, she's trying to be the first female exorcist. But instead of like her like learning the ways of how to be an exorcist.
This is where I feel insulted.
Yeah. Instead of her
this religion.
Like learning what to actually do and how to be a proper exorcist, she's like, nah, I know better than all of the people that have come before me for thousands of years or whatever it is, and I'm going to make my own way of exorcising people because I'm a woman and I know better. Yeah. That's what it felt like to me.
Well, that's what it is.
So, I was just like, what? Like, the idea was kind of cool of like she noticed a pattern in the terminal cases, right? She noticed a pattern that certain people are being targeted by certain demons because of their guilt and their shame. So like that's cool that she singled that out and that she recognized that, and it's cool.
See, the thing is, right? That's not wrong. However, actual exorcism already includes that.
Right.
So this demeans people who have already been doing this for a long time, and they just make them look like idiots. Yeah. Like, oh, you just don't know this person. You just start spitting out these random. No, it's not random.
Right.
It's everything is always very specific.
To the
and whenever
person,
they take a case,
demon.
they learn about that person because they need to know about them as an individual, what they've gone through, what this demon is, who it is, why they're connected, and all this other crap.
That's one thing.
This movie just throws that all out the window. It's just like, you're an idiot because you're a man.
Right. That's one thing that it's kind of a question, but also like I'm pretty confident I know the answer, but maybe I'm just thinking about something different. But I swear that in order to have power over the demon, you have to know their name. Like according to my,
I don't know enough, but that is most commonly known, to be.
That's what I like, and I don't know if it's just born out of other movies that I've watched or the actual studies that I've done, because I grew up in a Lutheran church, which is basically the same thing as Catholic. So like, but I'm pretty sure that in order to have power over the demon, you're supposed to know their name, and that's part of the exorcism process.
Right, that's
finding out who this demon is, so that you can have power.
Yeah, that's part of the kind of conversation they usually have between them. Like they have there's specific
passages,
passages that they read to, I guess, weaken the demon or whatever, which usually leaks out information, which they again build upon as they're actively exercising the demon to eventually learn that information. And once they do, that's their ticket to actually defeating it, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe one of you guys can educate us a little bit more on whether or not that's actually a thing. But I don't know. What? But it just like the whole time I was waiting for something like that to happen. Like they'd talk about we need to find out this demon's name, but it just never happened.
Right, so, because in this movie, so this
in this movie, demons just always like retreat but never defeated. Like,
okay, so
can't defeat
one
the
thing
demon.
they touch on in the beginning, which it's really minor, but it really pisses me off, is they kind of. So they have this. I love the fact that they have these two separate like places, right? They have like the main headquarters, or whatever, in Vatican City, and then they have this new one. That's cool, and it's like design and everything. It looks really great, and it's like purpose built. Yeah. It's got the statue of what's his name, Saint Michael.
Michael, Saint Michael.
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I think it's Saint Michael.
It should be, right?
Super cool. Like he's like the warrior angel,
right?
It's awesome. But then they're like, there's this super short like flash scene where it's like showing these different people, and I think it's being narrated by that one cool father that we barely see in the movie,
which sucks.
Which sucks. And he's like, oh, all these people are like connected, or they're all possessed or whatever. The reason why I didn't like it is because and maybe this is just another like religious thing. They portray that everybody that does evil things is possessed versus some people are just plain evil.
Right.
Which is, I mean, this might be just a distinction thing between me and somebody religious, but some people, sure, they might be possessed, but some are just
no,
evil.
I don't think I don't think that's a distinction between you and religious people, because there are evil people in this world that are not possessed.
Yeah, like there's just people that just do messed up things because they're
just want
messed
to watch
up.
the world burn, man.
But that was just something I noticed whenever that happened, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. Second big thing is, as the Sister Anna's learning, Father Simp. I think
I got you. Oh damn!
He's the cool guy that we never see.
Yeah, this is a cool guy. I thought I had a picture of him.
I think you do.
Oh no,
maybe not. Okay, well,
I swear I saw a picture.
There's a father in this movie that she kind of closely is friends with.
Yeah,
he's full on simp for this girl, and it's really stupid. It's really obvious. It's really annoying, and it kind of
it affects everything.
It means a lot of things.
Yeah,
because one, that shouldn't be a thing.
No,
because this is a profession to them. It's like their life.
Right.
That's
and
their
in
faith.
order to be, like, you have to be pure, like.
Right. I mean, it's just something that shouldn't be in this.
Yeah.
Story.
I agree with you. There
but
shouldn't be a love.
It ruins it further
story.
because they really emphasize it throughout.
And it
the
affects things in the movie. Like, the only reason why Anne tried to do a unsanctioned exorcism on his sister is because he liked her and he wanted to.
He's like, oh
yeah,
I was there in the room. I saw you do things. Yeah. She didn't do anything. She literally walked in the room, watched whatever the other father's name that actually knows what he's doing do stuff, walked in and was like, I can't remember her name, sorry, but
what's her name, the girl's name? Desiree? No, not Desiree.
Like Elizabeth or something.
I don't know, do you remember? She's that forgettable, right? Yeah. We're talking about the child.
Hold on,
this chick. Yeah. There's your scary face.
Father Dante is Father Simp.
Father Dante.
Father Quinn is it's the only cool guy in this guy.
Natalie's the daughter.
Natalie. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Natalie.
Yeah, so what she does, right? Basically, by this movie, I could be a fucking exorcist. But she just walks in and she's like, Natalie.
I'm here.
It's okay, I'm here. I'm here with you. It's okay, and that's it.
Yeah. She literally doesn't do anything else. Yeah.
While Father Quinn's sitting here actually spitting out these passages, doing something,
and getting wrecked too.
Yeah, while still getting wrecked, and it's like,
gets wrecked.
And then she's just like, "Oh, I did everything. I'm a god." Like,
yeah. The other thing, and this is kind of like one of the last things that I'm going to touch on before we turn it over to our guests, but I didn't like how there was just a complete lack of the actual exorcism the rite of exorcism knowledge in this movie.
That's what I'm saying. They have
there's no there are some situations where they're actually speaking and saying the passages,
very brief.
But even this movie is centered around that this girl is supposed to be the first female exorcist that gets trained, but we don't ever actually see her get trained. Like, it just kind of like is implied that it happens in between shots or whatever, that she's been to multiple classes or that she kind of knows stuff already. And to me, that's stupid. Like if you're gonna make this movie about the fact that she's gonna be trained to be an exorcist, show us the training, show us what it means to be like.
She doesn't need to get trained, bro.
Well, yeah, because she's got that touch. Yeah. She's just special.
She knows.
Yeah. So but that's where like there's certain things in this movie that could have been good, right? Like I know we've all talked about how the idea that there's this schoolhouse to create exorcists is actually kind of cool, and that if they had fleshed out that idea and maybe turned this into like, I hate to use your example, but Constantine-esque type of thing where like you're like a warrior against these demons.
But that's completely different, and that's not what this movie is trying to be. The problem is this movie doesn't know what the hell it wants to be.
Sure, that's fair.
If it wanted to lean into that, I'm totally fine with that, and that's cool. This is not that movie. This movie is like borderline wants to be serious, but also doesn't because it just wants the cash grab.
Yeah, that's fair. And then my thoughts on the final scene. The final, like this scene in particular where Anne goes and takes the demon from her daughter and then cleanses herself. She exorcises herself because that's a thing. Because she just happens to still have the pair of beads on her hand, and then like she dunks herself in the holy water. It just like so to me it's so far fetched. That any of that would happen. It's all just dramatic.
They took bullet points on how performing an exorcism is actually done, and then they're just like, what?
Yeah, that's good enough. We don't.
We just need the bare minimum things to make it look like
2 and 5. We don't need the rest.
Holy water check. Across. Yep.
Yeah. So. Before I turn it over to our guests, I'd just like to introduce them. I'll leave their names.
Sorry, just
stuff
before we do that, I just want to say the final thing about this movie.
Yeah, my bad. I forget to.
It has the audacity to sequel bait at the very end of this movie.
Oh my gosh!
That's it.
Yeah, so that's what. Okay, I swear I had a picture of that too.
No.
What?
We saw
but this scene is gross. But yeah, the ending where where the Father Quinn is like, be careful.
Because they're gonna send
now
her
that you
to
know
Vatican.
the devil knows you, which is a cool line.
That concept is actually fine.
It's cool, but then there's this scene at the end of her in a taxi cab, and the driver is possessed, and then there's somebody outside.
Well,
that's
at first
possessed.
it's that lady outside, then she looks in the driver, and then
and she's like, okay, is everybody possessed now or something? Like what? Like the devil could just like, yep, you and you. Like
you're possessed, and you're possessed.
Everybody gets a possession. Yeah. But yeah, very, very, very stupid if you ask me. But all right, so these two people, if they want to introduce themselves by their name, they can. But they're really good friends. They're in town on vacation for a very cool reason. But we're going. This is the whole idea that we wanted to do with Any Kind Media. We wanted to bring in our friends and get their perspective on stuff. So I actually watched this movie with these two individuals, and they are scary movie connoisseurs just like Taylor is. So they have a lot more information to be able to give you guys. So please help me welcome Dude 1 and Dude 2.
You can say your names if you want.
If you want. You don't have to.
Can you hear me? No. Okay. For right now, these are just props. All right, you want to go first or you want me to go first? You can go first. Okay. My name's Connor. I'm very good friends with... Hi. Very good friends with my buddy over here, Ocean, Taylor. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself or not. Oh, yeah, I'm Dietrich. Dietrich. Dude 2. Dude 2. Dude 1 and Dude 2. So, what do you rate the movie?
Yeah, give us your scores.
Yeah, so first
out
of 10. So first I'm gonna go ahead and out of 10. I think I agree with Ocean. It's probably a 3. I've seen a lot worse horror movies that are like absolute just garbage cans. So I don't think it's like that level of bad, but it's definitely not good, and it's like I mean, during the middle of this movie, I was almost falling asleep because it was so like ridiculous and boring. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say like a 3.
Yeah,
sounds pretty fair. Like you said, it definitely wasn't the worst horror movie that's been out there. I've seen some pretty terrible ones.
Yeah, there's a lot shittier ones, but you definitely don't need to like go out and see this movie. You can
somewhere in here there's a good movie of some kind.
Like they
good
like
horror movie, maybe not.
Yeah, like I think we all agree that they had really good ideas. I mean, not really good ideas, but like really good concepts, like that they put in here as like a little drop of, you know what I mean, of like an idea that could have been really cool if they had gone in a different direction. Like
Taylor said, like the movie didn't know what it wanted to be. Sometimes it seems like it was going to be like a Constantine action where he's like, this is the school's like all decked out and you have like this cool like father Xavier guy, and then they have like this armory of like Bibles and holy water, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, and they're on like special cases and stuff.
But which never comes up again. And that's like the thing about this movie. It sets up a ton of things that just like, okay.
Yeah, like a ton of things are like thrown into the mix and then never spoken of again.
Yeah.
You could literally, you probably take a drink every time they come up with a new idea and then throw it out the window. And you'd probably get drunk pretty fast. So, I think, I honestly, okay, so, how is it with swearing in this?
You're good.
Okay, cool. So this fucking movie is like
this fucking movie. That's all I can say.
Yeah, like, I was confused the entire fucking movie on what the abilities of these demons are, because they can just do anything, but also they don't seem to like it. Okay, so they make this huge deal about like all these terminal cases, about all these like people are dying because these demons are like killing them and stuff, but it doesn't really seem like the demons do any sort of lasting damage, because after they're done being possessed, all their like broken bones and everything is like completely fine. You know what I mean? Like when at the end
when she like breaks in half to go into the water.
Exactly. And then she's like completely fine. They pull her out. She's like, oh, I'm good. That's fine. I broke you can see her foot like literally break at like a 180-degree angle to the right, and she's like, you know what I mean? And then like the next scene, it's completely fine. Like, I don't get, it's just magic, and it's just I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I don't know how exorcisms work.
And that goes along with what they were saying about like how the rules of the exorcism or like the possessed aren't quite clear cut, because sometimes it's like they're so powerful they can climb up walls and they can fly and they can levitate things or whatever. Know. And then other times it's like, but we can't hurt like this one girl that is like, whatever, like she's special supposedly, but never does anything special.
Yeah, she does all the like bare minimum, like,
Yeah, I don't think besides the end when she like exercises herself, she doesn't really have any successful exorcisms.
There's no successful exorcisms done once in this movie up until she exercises herself at the end. She doesn't even exorcise the girl. She just was like, you win, take me instead. Which I knew was going to happen, and if halfway through the movie.
It would be a little Mary Sue-ish or whatever if she like did do a successful one after going to like 2 classes or whatever. But
she did nothing successful.
But at least you would be able to chalk it up to like, okay, there's something special about her that she's able to do a successful one, you know? But yeah, it's like they said, like, I wish this could have been like a Doctor Strange sort of thing where like, she learns like the mystical arts of, exorcisms and stuff like that. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
They could have explained the rules of what an exorcism has to be, and she has to learn to like adhere to those or whatever. But it just really was like so vague.
Yeah, they keep.
All of that
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. They keep saying you're breaking all the rules. What are the rules, dude?
Yeah.
Where are these rules at?
Number one example.
Explained one time. Where are the rules?
Number one example. The entire purpose of the movie is she's trying to be the first like female exorcist, and then at the very end they're like, there was another female exorcist, and it's like, what?
That's right.
What about that lady that was like
7 millennia or something?
It's like, no, they did this a billion years ago when exorcisms first. She was actually the first one, or whatever. It's like, what?
Yeah, so she wasn't even that special. And I have to say, I hate almost all the characters written in this movie. Like the one like nun lady who was like, you suck and you can't do this. You're supposed to be in the school for nursing and not being exercising people. That's against the law. And then she like punishes her and she's like, I hate you. You know, like, you're exiled. Go sit in the,
corner,
crappy church over there. And then she comes back, and since she exercises herself, she's like, "Oh, you're amazing. I'm sorry. We're gonna give you the highest honor. You can go to school in the Vatican, and now you know everything that you need to know." What are those things? Nobody knows. It wasn't told to us. So she just, I don't know. It's like, who wrote this movie? Who wrote this movie?
A lot of conflicting ideas. Where it was
seriously, it seems like there were 6 people writing this movie, and they're all like, you know what? Maybe we should do this. And then they were like, oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to add this on. And then it just like kept going like that. And nobody ever came up with like any one solid idea.
I wouldn't be surprised if we looked it up and we did find out there were like 6 writers.
Yeah, dude.
Who did this movie.
Like, yeah, that nun lady sucked. She was a really bad character. There was...
The Professor X guy was cool.
Yeah, that was the only guy who I really enjoyed. This guy, he was like cool. It seemed like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I just would rather see him as like Professor X than see him in this movie.
Yeah, and besides him, nobody else in this movie knows what they're doing. Like the other priest people, they don't know what they're doing either. They get killed like instantly.
He didn't even really succeed.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody succeeded at an exorcist in this movie. Nobody actually did an exorcism in this fucking movie except the lady
who
like exercised herself. School. Yeah.
One thing that really kind of like confused me is like they kept having like this cut. They always cut to the scene where she's like talking to that doctor lady.
Yeah.
I was always trying to figure out like when that conversation takes place.
Yeah, she's having this random conversation with the psychiatrist every like 30 minutes. That they cut to this conversation and she's talking about her mom, and then it's like, why do you keep like when is this going on? When it like
because at first I thought like, oh, okay, this is like the beginning of it, and then it's like, no,
it's just a continuing thing.
Yeah, but and then it cuts back and forth, and I'm like, is this like
they? You know what it is too? It's like after every like flashback scene where she's like with her mother, but like she's narrating over it like at the end of the flashback scene where they've already shown you what's happening. Like you can see it on the screen, and then she's like, my mother killed herself. I saw that. You just showed me that like 2 seconds ago. And it's just to show that she's talking to the psychiatrist. I don't get it. Like.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's why it's so weird.
And that lady didn't even play a role in this entire movie. She's like, I'm here to screen all these patients to make sure they don't have.
That's the other thing is like, you mentioned Exorcism of Emily Rose. That's a good movie because I like how it portrays like exorcism, where it's like, is it real? Like, is possession real or is it not? Is it like just a thing of the mind and we chalked it up to religion or whatever?
Right.
And they say that the school is like based on that kind of principle.
It's like a
That's
hospital.
Why they have like these like crazy cells with all this technology and like all these badge key cards.
And they have to sift out who's actually exercised and who's not. But none of that ever actually happens.
Yeah, that doesn't happen at all. And then when they confirm that old guy gets possessed, because you're just like, blah, 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 it's like they're not like, he's confirmed. He's they're just like, oh yeah, he's possessed, and it's like I don't.
They don't exercise him or anything. Yeah, it's just he's never brought up again. This guy has like a 6-foot-long tongue, and he's like trying to lick this chick in the face.
Like, dude, one of your staff like almost got killed. Like,
they have no security. They have no nothing.
It's so weird.
It seems like everything was thrown out the window. Like they had no like common sense of like maybe we should tie some of this stuff in.
There was one student that was like when she got accepted into the class, and he's like that white guy, and he's just like. A girl or whatever. And then it's like the next scene, they're like drinking together, like woohoo, like
like he hates her, like he gives her a look of disgust, and then literally 5 minutes after the class ends, they're like completely best friends.
They're like a trio.
Yeah, she's like, it's time to celebrate, and then they're all having a drink together. Like, what the hell happened to you being disgusted by this chick?
Yeah,
like,
or that seems a little bit against being.
Yeah, it was after the whole like exorcism in where this scene right here with this girl up in this thing. I was laughing hysterically at this scene because it was so hilarious that any of this stuff was even remotely like they thought this was like groundbreaking, frightening. You know what I mean? Like it was like. She's like, and she like turns around and she's like got her like, maggots coming out of her hands or whatever. And then she's like, and then she gets like sucked into the bed. Like some kind of cartoon character. She's just like, whoop. And she just like gets sucked into the bed. And then the cool guy, Xavier, comes over and he's like, where'd she go? And then he gets like,
and then the lump just.
yeah. It's, oh my god, it's so by the numbers. That's what I have to say. It's so mediocre. The like horror in this movie is all jump scares. It's all like you've seen it 1,000 times. There's a lump in the sheets. The chick is crawling up the ceiling into the corner. She's under the bed, but is she really under the bed? And then she is. And then you close the window. She's behind you. She magically gets out of her cell.
Yeah, I don't think there was one jump scare in here that was like surprising.
No.
That you didn't see coming. The other thing is, do they establish like the footage with the old guy and all of this? You could see in the scene. There's a camera right there. Do they like release this to the public? Like, this is clear footage that possession is real. Like, that seems like a pretty big deal.
Yeah, they touch nothing from the outside world ever affects this movie. Like, it's all just inside of the school and nothing else. Like she can kill like 7 priests and there's no police. There's no nothing. She can just do whatever the hell she wants. Yeah. But they can't stop her.
Yeah.
How many exorcists do you have in there? Like 1,000, and she's like unstoppable. Like I don't get it, dude. Like she kills these 3 guys, and then later they put her in this cell in a dungeon down below the thing, and there's like 3 dudes like no, I'm gonna apologize, like standing outside of her cell, and they're like completely fine. And then as soon as the main lady exorcist comes in, she's like, let them go. Like she knows she's gonna kill them.
And
then she's like,
Vatican or whatever.
Yeah, and then she's like, fuck you. And then she like she's in this like straight jacket, and then she just rips it open, and she's like, head, everybody dies. Like instantly everyone dies. The white guy who's like, I hate you in the beginning, and then like 2 seconds later was like, actually I don't hate you, I was just kidding. And then just 2 other random priests die. Like it seems like, I don't know. It seems like they're not very good at training these priests, because none of them have ever done anything. I didn't see a single person do any sort of actual exorcism.
Yeah, there wasn't a single success in this film.
No, and then she's like rewarded for her failures. She gets the guy's sister kills herself. The simp pastor, whatever. I don't know what his name is.
Father Dante.
Father Dante. They do this like. They do this like unsanctioned
exorcism.
Exorcism on his sister, because she's like,
she had an abortion or
right,
something like that.
And then she does her own like way of exercising her, because she knows she's right, and
where she talks to the person.
Yeah, and she's like, you can do it, just let go, come with me into the pain. And then it's like, oh, it goes away. Like, her belly's like huge, and like the fucking demon's like, oh, like trying to get out of her belly the entire time, and he's like, oh, God is good, and that's all he says the entire time. There's no like Latin going on, there's nothing. He's just like, God is good and he forgives, and I'm like, dude, come on. And that guy didn't really do anything the entire exorcism. He was just standing there.
No one did anything.
Yeah, and she's basically just comforting her, like who
knew that's all you needed to do in an exorcism? You just have to be nice.
You just have to be
nice to the person and treat them like they're a person, and then you win.
It's just fucking ridiculous, dude. And then oh my god. Yeah, so then the pregnant thing like goes away, and she's like, oh, I'm all better, and she's like crying. They're like, we did it, you're okay.
She's dead.
Yeah, and then the next day she's like, she killed herself. It's like, and then she's like, oh my god, I thought I was doing the right thing. I guess I'll go back to St. Mary's Church. Like, this is like the shadier church that has like a
and the worst part about that is, but right before she did like this whole like, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
And exactly. And she was like,
the
way
father
better.
was like, I support you. You're really cool, and I do my best. You don't know how much I support you, but if you do your own shit, like, I can't, back you up anymore. And she's just like, Father. And then does exactly what he tells her not to do. And then
exactly. He tells her exactly what not to do. And then she goes and does it, and she fucking kills somebody. And then she's like, oh my god. Like, it's a surprise. And then on top of it, so then she gets exiled from the school for like 2 minutes. And then
Dante's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Even though you killed my sister, you want to, try it again?
Yeah, he, comes up and he's like...
On your daughter?
Yeah, he's like, oh, my God. Here's this... So I'm pretty sure it was her daughter, because he gives her this rosary, and she's like, the possessed girl had this on her, and it's, like, the rosary she, wrapped around her kid's arm. Yeah, that one right there in the picture. And then, so she's like, oh my God, they're punishing me by using my daughter, and I'm gonna go save her. So then she dresses all like, you know, like the Matrix, and then she goes in.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's so. It was like a costume reveal. She's like in a hood, like a Jedi robe.
Yeah, she put on her like badass. I'm a fucking priest like outfit, and then she goes down. Everybody immediately dies. Besides her and Pastor Dante, the other 3 dudes who are already down there are like, "You can't be here." And then Pastor Dante's like, "Yes, you can. Get out of the way." And no, like nobody stops her. Nobody like. Even though she's exiled,
they can pretty much do whatever they want in this movie.
It doesn't seem like there's any sort of like consequences. Like
any
wants to get out of their cell,
they get out of their cell. They want to access records, they can access records. It's like they do whatever.
Yeah, and then so she goes through this whole thing, exorcises herself, defeats the demon, right? And after she's murdered somebody, basically, and then done nothing else correctly, they're like, "You did an amazing job.
You're promoted.
Yeah, we want you to be the."
You teach us now.
Yeah, you teach us now. We want you to be the best exorcist in the whole world. And then the end scene where she's like you guys said, when she's going into the Vatican or whatever, she's driving in the taxi. Like that was so like. At that point, I was just so like exhausted from laughing so hard at this movie because it's fucking.
You were
hilarious.
laughing a lot.
I was.
I saw you laughing like crazy.
This movie was fucking hilarious.
I'm over here. I'm over there like.
Yeah.
And Connor's like, ha ha ha.
Yeah, you were shaking with like laughter the entire time.
It was so like it
was so goofy.
The fact that the movie ends on a jump scare,
like 20 of them. It's like
at this, yeah, like literally 5 jump scares in a row.
There's 2 people that
There's
are
2
jump
people that are jump
her.
scaring you at the same time.
Hey, you turn right, jump scare left, jump scare back to right, jump scare back to left, jump scare.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then okay, actually, you know what I'm super confused on? There's one part in this fucking movie where she's like walking through a hallway and someone's like, "Annie, I'm always with you." Who the fuck is that, dude?
Yeah, that was like that was the thing.
How was that ever so explained?
That was why she like could exercise herself.
Because her mom has been there with her the whole time.
Yeah, her mom always fought for her.
Okay, if that's what they were trying to do, then why is there a fucking scene with her in the bathroom using the fucking comb on her hair, and then there's a fucking hair coming out of her eyeball, and her mom is like sinisterly standing in the corner, like what? So is her mom evil or does she look good? Like,
No.
Maybe it's like such a good in-depth like movie. We just
I just don't understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
That's what's
it's so highbrow in concept. We just don't. We're all not.
There's
getting...
an entire scene like of that actually happens, and like you can clearly tell that it's her mother that's like making the hair come out of her fucking eyeball. Like I don't know what, like really, like, and the fact that it ends on like the guy just going like at the end, like that was fucking hilarious. I thought that was the funniest ending I've ever seen in a fucking horror movie because it's just like really, like,
yeah, it was so crazy. We washed our eyes out with it with Transformers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that we watched a worse movie to get rid of this fucking movie because it was just so fucking like it wasn't like bad, it's good. It was just bad. Like
Yeah.
you really would just waste your time. There's a lot better.
Yeah.
Exorcism.
And that's why it's so weird because it's like it's hard. It's not even enjoyable because there is a lot of production value in it. It actually has like pretty good like CGI and like
Yeah, the CGI wasn't bad.
effects and stuff like that.
But
like,
the
I thought the
atmosphere-
building was cool. That statue was really cool. I was like, man, that's pretty freaking epic.
Yeah, the Michael statue he was talking about. Yeah, that shit was cool. It was like they were warriors, but they did nothing.
Yeah.
They did nothing. Like
could
warriors.
have been like the Men in Black of like exorcism.
Exactly. They could have totally gone that way, and that would have been awesome. But they did nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't go any way. They didn't
She
go
could
any
have been
direction.
like the Anakin, like the chosen one of like the all of them. Where it was
Yeah.
like, you're the chosen one.
Like,
but
she's the
council
Neo.
was like you're
Yeah.
not allowed, but it wasn't any of those things. It was this, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was them just sitting in place and just throwing shit at the wall the entire day, and none of it stuck. It just
Yeah.
all slid down the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, man. I would say this is definitely not worth anybody's time.
Yeah.
If you want
Watch
to better
Transformers.
yeah,
instead.
watch Transformers the last night instead.
It was better.
It was
That's
better.
the best Halloween movie you
Yeah.
can watch right now.
If I do want to give you a better option for exorcism movies. So if you want to watch a good exorcism movie, you go first. I know you know a couple.
I don't really have any to recommend that probably people haven't already seen.
Yeah, if you haven't seen The Conjuring already,
Yeah.
that movie's 10 times better. it's a better Exorcism movie. The original Exorcist is better than this fucking movie. Yeah. Like the Exorcism of Emily Rose, the taking of Deborah Logan. That's a way better fucking movie than this movie.
Crazy. I actually watched something that was somewhat similar to this, where it was like about this father guy, and he had like his daughter gets possessed, and it's actually interesting because they do like establish a lot of like the rules, the lore, and stuff like of all of it.
Yeah, there was no lore in this movie. And, they were just like.
Well, that's cool because there's like he has like a senior guy that comes in and tells him like, you know, when you exorcise people, you know, you don't have to refer to the book, you just have to speak to however God is filtering through you and stuff like that. So his like whatever he says is like his own shit, and I was like, man, that's kind of cool. It's a little something different. It's not a good movie either, but it's something different. Conceptually, it's a lot more cool than this.
Yeah, so this movie. That's a good movie. Fuck this movie. This movie is just this movie should just fuck this movie. I don't know.
Or don't fuck with this movie.
Don't fuck with this movie. But fuck this movie and don't fucking. I agree with Taylor. Just don't fucking see it. There's way better movies you can see. I think I've said everything I have to say about this movie. I'm sorry I get a little loud. I'm trying to keep my cool.
Doing a good job.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you to Taylor and Ocean for having us on. This was really cool. We're super excited to be the first guests on the podcast. Their podcast is amazing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us through the spoiler section of this video, and thank you to Connor and Dietrich for joining us here on the podcast. This is something that we've wanted to do for a while, and specifically with these guys because they're enthusiastic about this stuff, and it really shines through, you know, and they have really good points about this movie, and I really enjoy the theatrics. So thank you for being here, you guys. It was great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that section as well. We want to do more of this in the future, so if you guys like the guests and whatnot, if you like Connor and Dietrich, you know, and you want to see them back on the podcast, let us know down in the comments below, and we'll get stuff set up and get them back in there. As far as this movie in particular goes, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's very clear between all four of us that the consensus is just don't watch the movie. Just don't watch it. If you listen to our podcast, that's all you really need to know. And for the people that made this movie, you know, maybe next time just stick with one idea and just flesh that idea out.
So I do want to say that this movie was, in fact, the story was written by 3 different people, directed by somebody else, and then the screenplay was also done by one of the 3 people that did the story. But
not surprising, at all. So this is my like 6 months worth of scary movies for you guys. So if you want to see another one, you're gonna have to wait another 6 months for me to do another scary movie. But thank you guys for being here.
Or
we
just hit that like button.
Huh?
I said, or just hit the like button a bunch of times.
Yeah, that episode never got to 50 likes, man. So
because it's a bad movie.
So no. When we said
it was the trailer reaction to this movie.
Oh, was it really?
Yes.
Oh shit.
So yeah, it's a bad movie. It's not gonna get liked.
Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate your guys' support. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media, Any Kind Media Cast on Instagram and Twitter. And then we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye, guys.